Ladies and gentlemen, 3D artists of all ages, shapes, and sizes. Skill levels, skill sets, and programs of choice. The time has come for yet another chance to level up, learn new skills, and put your skills to the test. It's time for another 3D Community Challenge!
So there's another 3D Community Challenge by Punisher. This time, it's called Boss Fight. Basically, you have one small dude facing a big dude in slow motion.
Bruh.
Simple, right? I mean, it's so easy that your mom can't. I began by downloading the project files and, checking it out to see what I was dealing with.
Damn, boy!
I picked Unreal Engine for this render because last time I did it in Blender, things nearly went downhill. After that, I began searching online for ideas and came upon this meme, so I came up with this. Basically, the challenger is this guy. He's standing up on a cliff, facing off with the giant boss that is guarding this mysterious castle. And there's mist everywhere, for cinematic purposes. Pretty goated idea, not gonna lie. There's two parts to this, the characters and the environment. I started working on the characters first because that's what I struggle with the most, so if I could pull that off, everything else should be okay. So I scoured through Sketchfab and found a bunch of potential subjects, not these ones of course. I imported them into Blender to see how I was even gonna rig and do the animation, and you can see that I didn't know shit. Eventually, because I don't really want to rig and do the character animation, I want to just put the main character to stand there wearing a cloak with wind simulation, and so I imported this rigged character from Mixamo, followed this tutorial, and make it a cloak. But then I soon realized that that wasn't a cloak.
Wait a minute!
It was a fucking hoodie. So I tried making my own, imported it into Unreal Engine, did the cloth simulation, and of course it looks fine. So I had no choice but to rig and animate the character.
Oh my god! Oh jeez, oh my god!
This time for the character, I picked this guy, found some armor, and divided them into separate parts for each bone so that I can parent them to each bone and they will follow the bone when I animate it. For some reason, some of the armor didn't follow the bone. I don't know why, so I just imported the character again, transferred the armor, and that fixed it.
Oh my god, it actually works! Yes!
For the boss, I chose this guy, imported it, deleted all the unnecessary bones, and after trying so hard not to make him look like he's disabled, I finally got his pose done. Now it's time for the animation. I want the character to stand still, then slowly look towards the boss with his sword in his hand. I tried using Rococo for the animation. Basically, I just had to record myself doing the motion, then upload it to Rococo, and it will try to generate a skeleton with the animation from the video that I uploaded. But it didn't really work out too well. So I had to animate it all by hand. This is my first time animating a character, so I'd say I did a pretty good job.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Then I imported the character and animation into Unreal Engine. While I was assigning the material for the character, I noticed that the sword wasn't imported with the mesh, so I decided to just put it in the ground next to him so that I don't have to animate it. After that, I worked on the animation for a little bit more, trying to slow it down. For the boss, I found a few swords and chose this one because it almost has the same style as the boss. Then imported it into Unreal Engine, and we're halfway done. Time for the environment. First, I blocked out where I wanted to put the meshes. Then I imported a castle from Kitbash 3D and placed it behind the boss. After that, I went to download some assets from Quixel. I built a cliff, added some grass on it, and a few rocks. Then I began building the cliff for the other side. I used a normal rock, scaled that guy up, and it became a rock spike thing. I duplicated that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Now I thought I should add castle walls as well, because you wouldn't really call it a castle without a fortified thick wall, would you? So I stretched the thing, applied the brick material, added the small thing on top, and added the towers. The side seems kinda empty, so I put some trees, changed it to yellow so that it kinda looks like the ones in Elden Ring, and boom, the environment is done. Then I went back to the character, polished the material for the armor, and in no time, it was looking pretty goated. I also made the boss darker as well, so that he would look kinda old. I was done for the most part, so I started to mess around with the lighting and post-processing effects. I added good sky, turned it to dark green. I added some mist afterwards. You should watch this video if you want to learn how to create mists. Because this challenge was sponsored by Embergen, I played around with it for a bit and discovered some called VDBs. I searched it up and imported a few VDB clouds, and bro, they look magnificent. So I placed a bunch of them in the sky, tried making a dust wind simulation in Embergen. It looks good in the scene, but it was just too fast. I tried slowing it down a bunch of times and it didn't really work, so I just gave up on it. And to be honest, it already looks good without it, so here's my final render for the boss fight challenge. One more thing, I have a Patreon now, so if you want to support me, you can go check it out. And yeah, that's it. Peace.